virtual practical training sessions with respect to the pharmaceutics, and yesterday we had with the pharmacognosy, and today we are continuing with the pharmacology, and tomorrow with the pharmaceutical chemistry. So why we have started this faculty development program with respect to the virtual practical reason, virtual practical training. The reason is that we are already in teaching. Most of the colleges, most of the teachers are already involved in the online teaching, and we are in the tough pandemic situation, as also been declared yesterday. Lockdown period is extended till 31st of August. Colleges are not going to be open till 31st of August. And we don't know how long this pandemic situation or the college will remain closed. But pharmacy, which is a professional course, which is a technological course, as well as the practical oriented course, so we cannot deprive the student from the knowledge related to the practical. So by thinking all these aspects related to practical, we thought of making an attempt to give the some training to our faculty members with respect to how to conduct the virtual practical. So at least we can do some concept clearance of the student with respect to the practical. And now the technology is available. Yesterday also the new education policies have been implemented. It is also recommended for the implementation of the technology in teaching, learning, as well as the evaluation. So it is technology is going to play a very crucial role in future. As well as it has been said that there will be the development of the National Educational Technology Forum. So this is how the importance the government is giving, considering the future aspects related to the education. So technology is going to play a very important role, and we need to cope up with all this technology. So that's why we have started these sessions, this faculty development program. And today also we have very eminent personalities, those with their knowledge, with their experience, as well as the concept they have developed, the software they have developed. They will guide us regarding how to conduct the virtual practical related to the pharmacology. So that will be again the treat for all of the teachers. We got very good response from throughout India, say from Maharashtra to Assam, we have the participant. So this will be a good session for all of you. So I think it will be a good learning experience. All the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now our today's program is divided into two sessions. The very first session will be conducted by Dr. C.R. Patil sir, and the second session will be conducted by Dr. Rupali Patil ma'am. So without further ado, I request Dr. Pavan Udan sir to introduce Dr. C.R. Patil sir. Over to you, sir.
Good morning from the outside. I welcome all the faculty delegates. Today's Honorable Speaker Dr. C.R. Patil sir, my respected Principal Dr. Sanjay Kshirsagar sir. I welcome you all for the third day of this national level faculty development program on the virtual practical training. We all know Dr. C.R. Patil sir. C.R. Patil sir needs no introduction. But as a formality, I need to introduce him. Dr. C.R. Patil sir is working as a professor and head of pharmacology department in the R.C. Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Shirpur, Dhule. Dr. Patil has bagged many prestigious awards like the Innovator Teacher Award by the MHRD Government of India in year 2017. Sir has been awarded as Young Scientist Award by the Central Council of Research in Homeopathy and Ayush by the Government of India. Sir has been awarded as O.D. Gulati Award by the Indian Pharmaceutical Society in the year 2015. Sir has also been awarded as a Young Scientist Award by the World Congress on the Alternatives to the Animal Use in life sciences at Tokyo, Japan. Sir has also been awarded as a Best Poster Award in the 7th World Congress on the alternatives to the animal use in life sciences. Sir has more than 1 crore grant received from various funding agencies. Sir has also published several papers in the national and international reputed journals with a cumulative impact factor of 100, more than 100. H index is 15 and I-10 index is 25. Sir has also been awarded one patent. As long as the virtual practicals are concerned, sir is already in the field of virtual practical because sir has developed online software entitled Xcology Pro, Xcology, Calfarm. Sir has also written a chapter in in the book Current Status and Future Prospects of the Herbal Drugs. Sir has also been invited as a resource person in more than 30 national level conference. Dr. Patil has a huge contribution to the field of alternatives to the animal use, which has culminated into the availability of the online softwares like Xcology Pro, published by Elsewhere, and Calfarm, which he himself have developed. Today, in this situation of COVID pandemic, we need to shift from the conventional teaching techniques to the virtual teaching learning, and we need to explore the options for techniques for virtual teaching. And there won't be a better option than Dr. C.R. Patil, who can train the trainers in this regard. So without wasting time, I request Honorable Dr. C.R. Patil, sir, to continue with the session.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Pawan. I'm thankful to you and Kshirsagar sir for providing me this opportunity to be in touch with all these pharmacology teachers and other teachers of different subjects. It is really a pleasure that repeatedly I'm getting this chance to discuss with all of you how we can go for classroom teaching as well as for practical related training of the students. Friends, what has happened is we are feeling this is something new that is happening to the field, right? Means when we are saying that we are shifting to online education, we are thinking that this is something new. Okay, but let me share with you that Government of India started National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning long back in 1999. Okay, means almost before 30 years, this particular activity was initiated. We are slightly late in adapting to this particular technology, but it is pleasure that we are really very rapidly getting acquainted with these techniques and we are becoming experts in them. Okay. If you consider last couple of months, then almost 5 times I have gone online to discuss with many teachers, hundreds of teachers regarding various aspects of our subjects, regarding research activities and all. And this is giving us the strength of being in touch with our students, strength of collaborating with each other like never before. Okay, this kind of opportunity was not there. With a single click, we are connecting with hundreds of teachers, hundreds of students, and whatever we are generating, whatever details we are learning or teaching, these details are remaining online forever. Okay, so whatever we are discussing now, even this is going to remain on in the YouTube channels for years to come. And whoever is interested in knowing what actually was discussed on this particular day, they will be getting access to this. Okay, so this is the beauty of this online learning and teaching process. In last 3 months now, I have come across many BOS meetings, many teacher interactions where people are very confidently talking about online resources. They are becoming very expert in teaching learning process. For the first time ever in last many decades, pharmacy teachers are really thinking and talking about pedagogy. They are thinking and talking about students' involvement, making the students to learn the things, evaluating the things, okay, evaluating their performance. All these things were never there before. And this technology is really helping us in bringing the best out of ourselves. Okay, I'm happy that even though we are late by 3 decades in getting ourselves into this flow of technology enhanced learning, but now we are there and we are developing at very rapid speed. Okay. So as far as online learning is concerned, majority of us have tried all these things in last few months, and in next few months we are going to do it still in the systematic manner. Okay. We have come to know that there are thousands of resources available free of cost. So if you have a desire to learn something, immediately you can start learning. Okay. So this much power has been given to each individual now, that if he has desire to learn something, he can immediately start learning, okay, without wasting or even without walking out of his home. He can start learning anything that he desires. Okay. That is the strength of technology. Right. Let me share my presentation, what I am going to discuss with you today. I'm going to talk with you about hybrid online learning for the practical classes, okay, in which I'll be discussing regarding simulations and open source learning management systems. Okay. Now, the word hybrid online learning has been recently quoted by people who are involved in this online learning process. Earlier, it was called as blended learning. Blended learning means people were blending two aspects, classroom teaching with online teaching. Okay. But fortunately or unfortunately, because of COVID, now we are having two kind of online teachings. Okay. Online that we are going live, and online that is already available on internet. So we have to think about blending these two things now. We will be teaching through some app like Zoom or WebEx or YouTube. Okay. This is one way in which we will be lively interacting with our students. But apart from this, there is a wealth of knowledge freely available to us that also we can incorporate in our online as well as offline teaching learning processes. Okay. So whatever we are doing now, instead of calling it as simply blended learning, we can call it as hybrid learning, because the strength of both these things, strength of live interactions with our students and strength of already available resources, these two things we are mixing together, and we are making our learning a kind of hybrid learning which is still more efficient, still more approachable, still more engaging. Okay, so this is what we have to understand when we say hybrid online learning. Okay. Mind well, this process has been started decades ago. It is not something that is new. We are getting introduced to it little late, and we are rapidly learning it. So we are also in pace with others, and very happily we can use all this kind of hybrid online learning resources. We can develop them also. Okay. Then there are simulations. These are becoming important these days because we are compelled to conduct practical classes also online. Okay. And then for efficient dissemination of the details that we have prepared, we need some method. We need some management system. For that, we should know what are best, easiest, and cheapest learning management systems or open source learning management system. So I'm going to talk about this open source revolution also within a few minutes now. But this is what we are going to discuss in this session of 1 hour regarding practical classes. Okay. Let me share with you that when we say that we will be conducting practicals online, we are not thinking about what are learning objectives for practical classes. Okay. So we have to first know what are our learning objectives related to a practical class. When we call our students to laboratories, why we call them to laboratories? That's what we'll have to define in the objectives. Okay, objectives related to practical classes. Then we'll have to know what is meant by hybrid learning. Just have introduced that particular term to you. We'll then talk about OERs, okay, open education resources. This is a very nice thing that has happened to field of education in last few decades. Many learning management systems are coming up, okay, and they are getting customized in such a nice way that even without any prior training, you can immediately start developing your own resources. That is the beauty of freely available learning management systems also. And then I'll be going to some examples about what resources or what kind of resources are available to us, to everyone, for conducting our practical classes online. Okay, let's start with the first point of our agenda, that is objectives. Right. If we see our PCI syllabus, in PCI syllabus we are having learning objectives very nicely defined for theory aspect. If you see all the subjects of theory of all the semesters, in the beginning of the syllabus itself, PCI has now very properly defined what is objective or what are learning objectives for that particular subject of that semester. Okay. But if you shift to practicals, then unfortunately we are not having any mention about learning objectives for practical section. Maybe PCI feels that whatever learning objectives have been mentioned in the beginning of that theory, the same apply to practical section also. But if we look at it more carefully, then there is sufficient difference, a substantial difference between learning objectives for a theory class and learning objectives for a practical class. Okay, they cannot be similar. They can be complementary to each other, but they cannot be similar. It's learning objectives for a classroom teaching of a subject, theory subject, will be different. Learning objective for practical session or practical class, it will be sufficiently different. Okay, no doubt they are complementary to each other, but there is significant difference. So we cannot say that whatever is mentioned in the beginning of theory of that subject as learning objectives, that cannot be directly correlated with the practical aspects of that subject. Okay, as they have not been specified, it is our responsibility now to understand what are learning objectives for practical classes and try to write them down in our diaries or in the journals or in our notes which we are preparing for practical classes. Okay. If we see what are these learning objectives, then we'll be able to efficiently decide whether we can really conduct practicals online or not. Okay. At present, everyone is saying that, okay, we'll be conducting practicals online for all the subjects. But if you see the learning objectives for practical classes, we will have to accept that all aspects of practicals cannot be accomplished, cannot be disseminated, or what kind of skill we are planning to develop through the practical classes, those kind of skills cannot be developed through online mode only. Okay, so this is an unfortunate situation, and we are trying to find out the way from this particular difficult situation where, as we cannot call our students to the laboratories, we'll have to do something that will enable them to get some feel of that particular practical, and that will enable us to meet some learning objectives related to the practical classes. Okay, but the bottom line that we have to remember is we cannot conduct online practical classes as efficiently as we conduct wet lab practicals when the students really visit the laboratories. Okay, but still, as at present we are helpless, we'll have to find out what are resources using which we can engage our students for the practical aspects of each subject. Okay. Friends, as PCI has not defined this particular thing, we'll have to search at other resources what can be objectives, learning objectives for practical classes. Again, unfortunately, none of the pharmacy institute, none of the universities, not even NIPERS have systematically defined this learning objectives for practical classes. Okay, so we'll have to look at some other foreign universities which have taken efforts to pen down systematically what should be learning objectives and what care we should take, or what should be our intention when we are calling our students for the practical classes. Okay, so whatever I have taken or whatever I am presenting here has been taken from the website of Leicester University, UK. Okay. On the website of Leicester University, they have given some guidelines for conducting the practical classes, and that is very good information. that particular guideline and those particular learning objectives they have prepared using already published material which is available on internet. So it is really interesting to go to that particular website of Leicester University. I have shared this presentation, and even up to this particular talk, I will be sharing this presentation with all the participants. So to visit that Leicester University link, you will be getting that particular link and you can visit it. Take some time to read through all those points so that you can understand how in developed countries, how in a systematically running university, people are thinking about each smaller aspect of practical classes. Okay, and this is something we should learn now. And immediately we should learn there is nothing difficult, but even though we are doing all these things, we are not systematically doing that. Okay? So these guidelines of these learning objectives which have been defined, they will enable us to channelize our efforts in a particular manner to meet the learning objectives. Okay? For that purpose, we are going to look at this particular website. And on this Leicester University website, what they have defined regarding the learning objectives for practical classes is, after attending practical classes, the learner will be able to consolidate the subject knowledge. So whatever he is learning in theory, that thing will be consolidated if he goes through the practical classes. These classes will enable, or these classes will introduce disciplinary methods and procedures. So through conducting practicals, we are exposing our students to the methods and procedures which are related to that particular discipline. Okay, if suppose I am saying pharmacology as a discipline related to drug discovery, then in practical pharmacology classes, I will be introducing my students to some research methods, to some research protocols which are really in use in drug discovery process or drug development process. Okay, so for that we are conducting these experiments. We want our students to develop the technical skills. These technical skills we cannot develop just by listening to something or just by going through theoretical details. We cannot do that. That is the reason why we are calling our students to practical classes. Again, these practical classes develop cognitive skills in the students. When the students is really dealing with that experiment, when he is really performing that experiment with all his cognitive abilities, there is development of cognitive skills. Okay, simplest example you can take, if you ask a student to give 50 mg per kg dose of paracetamol to a mouse or rat, this develops a lot of cognitive skill in that student, because student will have to hold the rat properly, he will have to administer that particular drug properly, he will have to prepare the solution properly, he will have to calculate the dose. Okay, so all these things we may not be able to impart in the student's mind through theoretical knowledge or through classroom teaching. That is the reason why we say that cognitive skills are also developed during the practical classes, which we cannot teach online, which we cannot teach even in the classrooms. Unless and until student faces this kind of problem at his laboratory table, these cognitive skills will not be developed. Okay. Another thing is, during practical classes, students unconsciously they are developing the teamwork skills. Okay, so when they are performing the practicals, there is unconscious collaboration between the entire batch, and then students are learning from each other. This we can even find when we are conducting practicals, that a group of students are discussing regarding few aspects of that practical. They are helping each other to perform the practical in a proper manner. If there is some misunderstanding in mind of someone, another student comes and explains the things to him. Okay, so this lateral kind of learning is also happening in the practical classes, which we cannot efficiently do. Even in theory classes we are doing this, but actual teamwork skills are developed during the practical classes. Okay, most important thing is there is increase in the learner's motivation and interest in that particular subject. Okay, this is the reason why people complained when pharmacology practical was actual laboratory practicals were removed and PCI told us to conduct the practicals online or through simulation mode. At that time, many pharmacologists they felt it to be a wrong decision. Okay? They felt it that this kind of decision must not be taken and student must be asked to come to the lab and perform the practical. Okay? But this feeling is a history now. We have already adopted to simulation-based learning of pharmacology. There are some advantages, some disadvantages of it. But as we are following this PCI syllabus, we are already in the process of implementing simulation-based learning for UG pharmacology practical classes. Okay, but still, if we really want to impart all these skills, students will have to come to laboratory. They will have to do some practical. Then only they will be able to really understand what the subject content is, what is the relevance of that subject content, what kind of skills are needed in real contribution to that particular subject, what procedures, protocols are followed in the development of that particular subject or developments related to that particular subject. So all these things we are doing unconsciously when we are conducting practicals. Okay. Now, henceforth, you can keep these particular learning objectives in front of you so that you will be guided to what or to why you are really calling your students to the laboratory. Okay. Now, each of these learning objective has been further elaborated and systematically represented in that Leicester University website. This is freely available to all of us, and we can use these things. We can understand what we mean by consolidating the subject knowledge. Okay. What we mean by introduction to disciplinary methods and procedures. Even this has been told in further details by Leicester University on its website regarding practical classes. Okay. Not only this, apart from these learning objectives, on that website, the university has given a list of checking points, okay, which we should tick before starting a practical. Okay. So there is a checklist. If suppose you want to conduct a practical, you have to just have this checklist in front of you, go on ticking whether you have really taken care of all those points or not. So that checklist is also available, and it has been really very nicely designed checklist for the person who is conducting practical and the supportive staff. Okay. So whole this thing is important, and when we are in laboratory, we are doing all these things. Okay. So this is the time when we should channelize these all efforts. We should have proper documentation of what we are doing, and we should clearly understand why particular thing we are including in the practical classes. Okay. So this is important when we are saying that we'll be efficiently disseminating practical knowledge online. Okay. Already I've told you that we cannot efficiently do that. So with this particular handicap, again we have to enable ourselves to give some feel of the practical and detailed knowledge to our students. Not only that, we have to also evaluate how the students are grasping those details, and then conduct their viva, take their tests, and keep the record of all these things as a continuous evaluation. Okay. If you see our syllabus, in syllabus, it has been mentioned that we should have continuous mode assessment of our students even for practical classes. Okay. So if you see that particular page of PCI syllabus, there for practical classes, attendance of the student, his laboratory manual, viva voce, interactive projects or group projects, group discussions, all these have been prescribed for continuous mode assessment of the students. Okay. When we are shifting to online mode of teaching for practical classes, it is important that we should consider even this particular aspect very properly. Okay. See, for theory classes, we are having span of 60 minutes. Out of that, if we consider recording of presentee, then asking students whether they are able to listen to us or not, going online, all these things may take 5 to 10 minutes. So actually, for one theory class, we are spending 50 minutes. online, we are interacting with the students. When it comes to practical classes, we are having 4 hours of interaction. So this is the area where our skills as teacher are really going to get tested. Okay. For a theory class, within 15 minutes, you are finishing it. That's all right. What you will be doing in practical classes, because the time given for each practical class is of 60, not 60 minutes, it is of 4 hours. 240 minutes you are going to be with the students, and you have to plan for this 240 minutes. Okay. So you can understand the kind of challenge that you are having in conducting online practicals. Unless and until you are having very rich resources with you, unless and until you are planning to evaluate each student properly, unless and until you are having a very well planned viva questions, some collaborative activities, some small work that you are going to give to your student, you cannot conduct 4 hours practical efficiently. Okay. Now you can ask me whether there is any possibility that we can get all these resources for conducting practicals. The answer is no. Okay. If you are a teacher, you are teaching that particular practical, it is your responsibility now to generate resources according to the needs of your students. Okay. Because what are the needs of your students, you better understand them. No doubt some resources are available, many resources are available, but how to utilize them, that you will have to learn. Where the resources are available, that you will have to find out. You will have to learn to use those resources yourself, create your own resources and use them for your practical classes. Keep systematic record of that. We'll have to do this, then only we'll be able to go for hybrid learning for practical classes, otherwise not. Okay. If we just say that someone should provide us with the resources, then we will be conducting practical, and as the resource means the material of that resource is over, we'll be just closing that practical. That cannot happen, or that cannot help you in really disseminating practical knowledge to the students, because learning objectives are very vast. Okay? To meet those learning objectives of practical classes, you'll have to take care of all these things. You have to take care of vivas, you have to take care of journal writing, you have to take care of students evaluation, maintenance of record, providing them with all the resources which are relevant to that particular practical, enabling them to understand. All these things you have to do in the practical classes, so that all these 4 hours you will be able to utilize for real good purpose, and you will be able to meet the learning objectives, and students will be interested in knowing this kind of online practicals. Or if suppose you just say that this particular resource is available, go to this simulation, keep on clicking, at the end whatever comes, you just take a print of it or save it as a PDF and submit to me, and that will be considered as a practical. If this approach you are using, then you're not even meeting 10 to 20% of the learning objectives related to practical classes. Okay? So this is what we have to remember when we are thinking about online dissemination of practical details. Okay? So what is appearing on the screen at present? Increase in teamwork, increase in motivation. These are the learning objectives related to practical classes. And fortunately, we can correlate these learning objectives for teachers also, like for online dissemination of practical knowledge. We will have to increase our teamwork. And who is there in the team? Hundreds of pharmacology teachers who are there throughout India, throughout the world. They are your team members. You collaborate with them. You prepare something. You keep it freely available to your colleagues, your collaborators. Whatever they are creating, that you can utilize. Like this, you can enrich your online practical classes. Okay? And this will motivate us not only to develop our own contents, but it will increase our involvement, and it will improve our confidence for disseminating the practical knowledge online. Okay? So this is what we have to learn as teachers, so that our students will be also getting some flavor of this kind of activities. Okay. All right. So with this details about learning objectives of practical classes, Now I am starting with details about open education resources. Okay. You'll be amazed to know that this word open education resource was coined by UNESCO. Okay. There is one organization called as OECD. All my pharmacology friends know this. OECD is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is an organization of multiple countries, and we come across toxicity guidelines which are drafted by and validated by OECD. Okay. Same OECD has also given a draft related to open education resources. Okay. And OECD has said that this is the best and the most positive thing that has happened to the field of education. Okay. The revolution of open education resources is something that is the best thing that has happened to the education till now. Okay. This is what has been said by OECD. Okay. OECD authorities has accepted it. Now, there is another interesting thing about OER, and that is 5 R's. Okay, so we pharmacology teachers who are teaching these alternatives to experimental animals, we have come across 3 R's, 4 R's, right? Reduction, refinement, replacement, rehabilitation. These R's we know very well. Okay. Interestingly, there are 5 R's about this open education resources also. Okay. When we are saying open education resource, we know that it is freely available to everyone. Anyone who is having interest in using that particular resource, he can download it, he can modify it, he can keep it in his databases, he can freely distribute it to anyone. Okay, so this is what is meant by OER. And in OER also, open education resources also, there is something called as 5R related to activities of OER or permissions related to OER. Let's see what are these 5Rs. These 5R related to open education resources are reuse, revise, remix, redistribute, retain. Okay. So whatever is available as an open education resource, that will be utilized in all these ways. Okay. If suppose I create one open education resource and I put it on internet as open education resource, then anyone interested in that particular resource throughout the world can use it, reuse it. He can take a part of it, revise that particular part, and create another open education resource, which can be used by others also. There can be mixing of 2 different OER programs or OER resources available on internet. You can mix them happily and keep it available to all. That is possible. You can redistribute it. You can retain it with you by downloading it for future references. So these 5Rs are actually helping this revolution of open education resource to become more and more strong. And today, millions of people, millions of teachers are using such open education resources to make their teaching and learning more efficient. Okay. I'm saying learning by teachers also, because teaching was a process that earlier was one-sided process. Now each one of us is learning and trying to teach. Okay, so both these things are happening. So for our own learning also, these OERs are important. For our own teaching also, these OERs are important. And when we learn to create such kind of OERs that can really enrich our understanding of the subject, that enables us to learn many things, and then it creates the resources for others also. Okay, I'm going to show you a small resource that I had created as a part of one training program. I hope this is visible to everyone. This is a small piece of video which I have created as an open educational resource. For this, I have used everything that is freely available under the Creative Commons license on internet. I hope you all have come across the term Creative Commons license, because majority of us have gone through the faculty development programs related to online teaching learning process. Online teaching learning pedagogy we have understood. So this Creative Commons license, the CC, enables you to utilize that material for your purposes and keep it as open educational resource again. So there are more clarifications regarding this Creative Commons. If you go to Google and search for it, you will understand that many different kinds of licenses are there within this Creative Commons, which you can use, and using those resources, you can create your open education resources. Okay. So in this particular resource, if you want to visit this, if you want to use this for your classes, you can use it. You have to just press, or you have to just visit cardiotonics.wordpress.com. This is freely available to everyone. This is a resource that I have created for teaching the topic of cardiotonics. Okay. So you can see the efficacy of this particular learning method.
Right atrium of the heart, and another is similar tissue is present. A center is present between atrium and ventricle in atrioventricular septum, which is called as AV node. The pathways which connect SA node with AV node are called as internodal atrial pathways. Okay? Internodal atrial pathways. Now, when impulse is generated here, it is carried to AV node, and then from AV node to bundle of His and Purkinje fibers, the impulse is conducted towards the whole membrane of heart. Now, this is this SA node will generate impulse. It will be carried to whole heart, and in response to such kind of impulse, atria and ventricles will be contracting in a particular sequence. This is how continuously impulse is generated.
Okay. So this was a demonstration of how you can create your own educational resources. Let me share with you that for creating this particular resource, I did not require even a single rupee. Okay? I did not require any formal training. Just by understanding how to use some simple softwares. They are not softwares. You have to just click one button and recording will start. Okay. You'll have to just systematically search for a particular kind of image, particular kind of video which is having Creative Commons license, and you can create your own resource. Okay. So by using such freely available resources, you can create your own OER, and that you can use for your practical training of your students. Why we are saying this particular thing is because at present, if you want to teach the syllabus of practicals online, no resources are available unless and until you create them on your own. But for creating your resources, a wealth of knowledge is available, and that too is available free of cost without spending a single rupee. Just if you have that burning desire in your mind that you want to convey the practical properly to your students, you will be able to create your own resources, which you and your collaborators will be able to use. Okay. So this is what we have to learn immediately. How long you will take to learn this? According to my experience, you will not require more than 1 or 2 days to learn these things. Okay. If collaboratively you are learning, within a day you can learn all these aspects. Okay. So if suppose 2 to 3 teachers of department decide that okay, they want to develop something for this particular class, this particular practical class, they can do it within a day. To that extent, resources are available to us, and this strength of technology we have to start utilizing. Okay. Now let us see some examples of what is really available at a single click on internet. Now, particularly when we are thinking about subject of pharmacology, it has been clearly mentioned in the syllabus of PCI that all pharmacology practicals should be taught using simulations or other resources available, online resources available, okay, or softwares available. What I am showing you is not particularly related to pharmacology, but there are many experiments which are included in other subjects of pharmacy syllabus, which are freely available on this very nice website of Amruta University. Okay, so you can visit this particular website, try to find out what resources related to your subject are available on this. Okay, this is not only related to UG practicals, but even for PG related practicals, many nice experiments have been simulated and they have been freely distributed on this particular website. Okay, so let me show you one or two examples of this. Say you want to teach your students regarding cell count. Okay. As your students will not be coming to laboratory, you will not be able to tell them what all components of microscope are there, how that thing is to be utilized, what are various parts. How many times we keep on telling our students in the first practical when they come for blood related practical. Okay, what is the nature of Neubauer's chamber, what kind of lines are there, what kind of compartments are there in this particular Neubauer's chamber scale, then how to use coarse adjustment, fine adjustment, all these things we want to tell our students. Okay, so all these things are available in interactive manner in this particular website. Right. So for practical in which you are going to teach your students regarding cell count, you can show them these various aspects. See, this is interactive in a way that if you want to switch it off, you can switch it off. You want to switch it on, you can do that. If you want to increase or decrease light, that you can do. You can move the slide up and down by using these controls on the screen. You can make fine and coarse adjustments in the view by moving these particular buttons. So this kind of interactivity has been provided. Okay, and this website enables you to tell your students what they have to do when they are performing the practical of WBC count. Okay, so you can use this particular resource to teach WBC count to your students. No doubt you'll have to manage the things slightly as per your needs, but using such resource you can do that. It is not difficult. Okay, so such fine resources are freely available to you to conduct some practicals. The thing is, you have to sit with your computer, visit Google, try to look for the resources, and hundreds of such resources you will get. It's possible that it is not customized according to your needs, but it is sure that you will be getting enough material that you can use to create your resources and teach your practical. Similarly, there are other resources. This is one beautiful experiment related to biochemistry, where you can demonstrate to your student regarding isoelectric point of milk if this particular aspect is there in your syllabus. I'm not sure whether it is available or not, but I just want to give you some glimpses of what is really available on internet, which you can utilize for your practical purposes. Okay, so this kind of interactivity has been provided. So it is possible that someone of us will be stimulated to create his own resources by utilizing such particular softwares. Okay, no doubt it will be a hectic task, but you can start doing it. If you see that this kind of things can be prepared, you can start doing these things. Okay, so this interactivity is there, and there are many experiments. Okay? Many experiments like TLC running, then isolation of proteins, isolation of DNA. All such experiments have been given in such interactive manner on this website of Amruta University, Virtual Lab, Amruta University website. Okay? So these things we can use, sure, right? And ask our students to visit this particular website, ask them to register for it, and let them learn how to perform this particular practical. Okay, so this is how such resources we'll have to find out. All right, using these resources we can prepare our own practicals. Now I'm saying prepare our own practicals means use a part of this and try to simulate your own experiments. Okay, if you see, there are many biological image processing related, then biochemistry, microbiology, immunology, cell biology. Many such laboratory experiments are available. They are freely available. People are using them. Only thing is, now we'll have to visit this particular website, search resources. I'm not saying only this resource. You try to find out other resources also. N number of such resources are available. And then use this particular open educational resource for creating your own small package for your practical. Okay, like this. There are many videos also for say isolation of DNA. This practical is there in
the dialysis buffer contain.
This practical is there in PG classes, PG pharmacology. Okay, so in this pandemic, suppose you are conducting practical of pharmacology, PG also, you will be able to show the students all these very nicely prepared demonstrations in interactive manner. Okay, so this kind of resources are available. Only thing is we have to start looking at them. Right? So first resource that I have told you was regarding Amrita University Virtual Lab, and this you can visit without anyone's permission. Just enter your email ID, get registered, and start using these resources. Very rich resources are available here. Only thing is you have to search what is relevant to you. Use it from this particular website. If suppose something is still missing, search for that particular keyword on internet. You will come across many such resources now. Okay. Similarly, this one practical is there in I think 3rd year 6th semester. Okay, where calculations related to PK parameters has been included in the syllabus of practical pharmacology. So this open education resource even does not require login. Okay, just you should know what is the website address, and you can easily go to this, go through this particular interactive software. Okay? And many simple demonstrations which are there, those demonstrations you can teach your students, you can ask them to interact with this and learn the concepts related to pharmacokinetics. Okay? So in this particular manner, many simple ideas have been demonstrated here. Okay? So what is half-life, how various dosages or dosing techniques affect the volume of distribution, what is one compartment, two compartment model. All these things you can very efficiently teach to your student for that particular practical. I'm giving you next example of one experimental pharmacology practical of 3rd year BPharm 6th semester, in which you have been given the title of practical as calculation of pharmacokinetic parameters. Okay? So you will be having a set of data with you, but to clarify the concepts of your students, if you ask them to go through this particular website, ask them to interact with these contents, and then conduct your quiz dependent upon that. Okay? If you do that, you will be able to even evaluate your students, and you will be able to systematically maintain the record of your evaluation. Okay? So this kind of resources are available. This is freely available. Now you can use this for that particular practical of pharmacokinetic parameter calculation. Okay? Similarly, one more practical is there, that is calculation of LD50 according to OECD guideline 425. Okay. For this also, a open source software is available. This software you can use. You demonstrate this software to your student, then give them different options. Ask the students to perform this particular practical online. Let them submit their results. See, now this particular software, I hope the teachers who are teaching to PG pharmacology at least have come across this particular resource. This is freely available on OECD website, where you can conduct OECD 425 guideline related LD50 testing online, okay, using your hypothetical examples, you can perform this particular practical and tell your student entire detail of that particular practical. Okay, this will sure require more than 4 hours to teach the students how to perform it, and students will be getting real glimpses of what is to be done when they are performing a practical. Okay, so like this, you have to go on putting the values. The software will go on suggesting you regarding how you have to increase or decrease the doses. And then at the end, the software will tell you which stopping criteria is met and how to calculate that particular LD50 value according to OECD guidelines. Okay, so like this, very happily you can demonstrate this practical. You can tell your student what is really happening in industry when a new compound is coming for LD50 testing. You can tell them what is the strength of this guideline. You can compare these guidelines with other guidelines, 420, 423. Tell them how these particular guidelines have evolved, how they are validated. All these things you can make very interesting, and you can go ahead with your practical of 4 hours. Meanwhile, you can give a quiz to your students, let them answer that, conduct a poll online regarding a particular uh, ambiguity related to this particular guideline, see how they are understanding. All these things you can do. Okay, conducting of polls online, conducting of previews online, conducting quiz online. This is a child's play now. Okay, if you use options like Google Forms, it is really very easy. So there is nothing that we cannot do now. Okay, very easily we can create our resource, plan our practical using very simple techniques, very simple tricks. You can make your practical very interesting, and students will really get engaged in this kind of things if they know that okay, this particular software is freely available, using which they can understand LD50 to the extent which is necessary for a drug industry. Then students will sure learn this. Students will sure ask you questions. Students will really sincerely appear for each question that you are putting in that quiz. Okay, so this is how you can increase the interest of your students. Regarding anatomy, physiology, hundreds of resources are available online free of cost. Okay, so see what was happening in anatomy related practicals particularly was the teacher was going into the that particular lab. He asked the students to open the journal, write down the details from some chart or some book, get the journal checked. On the same day he was conducting viva and the practical was over like that. Okay, but because of this corona pandemic and because it has compelled us to go for online teaching, I am happy that each of us will be compelled to look for some resources which are available online and which we will have to utilize. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of examples regarding anatomy related softwares which are freely available. Okay. So this is a very beautiful example, freely available. Humanbiodigital.com is the website. I hope you all are able to see this. This is the structure of internal ear, and this is available in interactive manner. Okay, so you can very nicely tell your students what is real structure of internal ear, which students will like to interact with. Okay, students will love to see the structures in this particular manner. You can see different details out of this. You can enlarge them. This kind of interactivity I can provide to your students, and then you can really tell them what are these semilunar canals, what is cochlea, what is its role, how it is connected to the nerve, auditory nerve. All these details we can happily tell them and teach them regarding this particular practical. Okay, you can have a separate isolation of this particular structure and show your student how that structure is actually. Okay, Don't you feel the students will really feel it interesting? This really increases the interest of student into learning this anatomy related aspect. See, as teachers, when we learned, we never had this kind of interactivity to look at the structures, three-dimensional structures of our body parts. So something like this, if it is available, it is our duty that we should share these details with our students, ask them to go through this, prepare quizzes dependent upon these particular observations. If possible, create a video of what you are doing on screen and share it with your students. On that particular video, you can ask the questions, okay, and see whether students are really understanding that particular topic or not. It will be very, very interesting to learn anatomy practical like this, instead of just drawing the things in the journal in the same old manner. It will be highly preferable to go for this kind of interactivity. Similarly is the thing with bones. Okay, so all of us remember that this content of osteology in anatomy practical was the most boring aspect of that practical. Okay, so because for 3 or 4 long hours we are just sitting with those bones doing nothing. So it is better that if you suppose provide your student with such kind of interactivity regarding all the structures, and then ask them to define this, then ask them to see how this particular lock and socket kind of arrangements are there, what are various parts of this particular bone. Ask them to look at these things and teach them how to understand the anatomy of skeletons properly. Okay, so such kind of interactivity is possible to all of us. Okay, and entire skeleton you can teach like this. This is freely available, right? And then while conducting exams also, you can very happily tell your students how to utilize this particular resource. Okay, so this is how you can utilize this open source material which is available on internet. I hope that this particular practicals will not be the boring practicals of just writing journals, and you can make them very interesting. Okay, now there are many mobile apps also, right? There is one more resource called as Open Learning Initiative of Carnegie University. To this also you can freely register. There is no cost involved in this, and using this particular resource you can learn anatomy and physiology very, very nicely. Okay, as a teacher you will be relieved that hundreds of questions in interactive manner have been included in this particular resource. Okay, so if suppose you go to this particular topic of cell, you will have all these details. You will know what are various cell organelles. In interactive manner, you can check all these details. Then there are quizzes associated with this particular detail. Students will be able to learn the details online. Okay, like this. See here you can see that in this free resource they have given the quiz, and if suppose you click on this, whether your answer is correct or not, that is automatically displayed on the screen. Okay, such free resources are available, and entire syllabus of anatomy and physiology has been given in such nice manner on this particular website. Okay, so this is how you can enable your students to get engaged in the details that you are trying to tell them, right? So I hope these few examples are sufficient to convince you that there are very rich resources available to us online, using which we can teach our practicals efficiently. Apart from this, recently IITs have also come ahead to develop simplest possible learning management systems. By now, I am expecting that at least 50% of the teachers who are there in this particular workshop, FDP, they know what is meant by Moodle. Okay, MOOCs, we have come across this word now because Swayam classes we are attending already. So for development of that kind of MOOC, IIT Mumbai has created its own simplest and most customized LMS. They have given it name of Bodhi Tree, and this Bodhi Tree is available online. You can get trained into this, and you can see the details of it. Okay, just a minute, I'm showing you that thing. I am there in the Bodhi Tree now. Bodhi Tree is a learning management system, just now I told you. Using this learning management system, very easily you can create your practicals. Now, major question that teachers ask is, if suppose I start teaching them online, the students, they will just put their mobile phones on, they will enter into that meeting and they will do something else. They may sleep, they may do something, some other activities, they will not look at the videos. Okay, even this kind of problem has been solved in this particular resource, learning management system, where you can embed questions inside the videos.
This is one resource which you can get free of cost on the internet, which tells about episkin, human epidermis grow in a petri dish. Okay, you can use this human epidermis, which has many characteristics similar to human skin, and you can test your compounds directly on this. Okay, now while doing this practical, while explaining this practical, you can ask the students to watch this video. In this video, you can embed the questions. Okay, like this, like the one question that I embedded here.
Okay, see now, unless and until student looks at this particular question, he solves it properly, he will not be able to go ahead. Okay, so he has to submit it. If he submits the correct answer, then only he will be going ahead, otherwise not. All right, so like this kind of interactivity you can create in the resource that you are having or research that you are creating. This is very, very cheap. Training is freely available. Per student, you will be spending not more than 5 rupees per semester. To that extent, it is cheap. So when you are creating your resource, if it is that cheap, you can happily use this kind of things. Okay, so student, unless and until he goes through this particular video sincerely, unless and until he answers the related question, he will not be able to see the next part of it. Okay, for this, no training is required. When you are developing this resource, you have to just upload your video, and there is a button here in this Bodhi tree. You have to click on that button marker, just create a question here and forget about it. When student visits this video, he will be coming across that question. Unless and until he solves that question, he will not be able to go ahead. So you will come to know whether your student has really seen that video or not. Okay, means some kind of compulsion for learning also can be implemented by using such resources. Okay, so this is also a very nice resource using which you can create your entire syllabus of practicals. Okay, so in this particular Bodhi tree, they have given an option of multimedia book. Okay, the experiment which I am showing you is the experiment that is included in third year practical class. I think semester 5 or semester 6 it is there, for which we have to rely on this online resource. There is no other way to teach this practical. Okay, you cannot conduct this practical, you cannot demonstrate it also in laboratory. For that, you have to rely on this resource, create your own package using that freely available video, add your own quiz, and deploy it on your LMS. Let it be Moodle, let it be Gnomio, let it be WordPress. On any of these particular management systems, you can deploy this particular content. Ask your students to visit it. You will be able to teach them this practical highly efficiently, as good as a professor from any best university of the world. You will be able to demonstrate them this particular practical. Okay, so this is one resource. people are concerned about attendance of the students. Okay. For this attendance also, IIT Mumbai has created a software, an app called as SAFE. Okay. Smart and Fast Examination is the name of this particular software, particular app, which is freely available. And to enroll your students, you will have to use again the same amount, 5 rupees per student per semester for both this, Bodhi as well as SAFE. You can imagine the cost involved in this. Even a single teacher can afford this. If you want to use this particular platform, just pay to IIT Mumbai, get this platform, start teaching. Okay, it is that easy. So this kind of resources are available now. This strength we have got now, and you need not to take anyone's approval also for paying for this. Just few hundred rupees, happily we can pay and go ahead with your teaching. Okay. Now, as far as experimental pharmacology is concerned, there are few practicals where you need simulation. Unfortunately, very few such simulations are available. So sometimes we have to take refuge to whatever is available now, whatever is available at the cheapest possible cost that we have to use. But these resources like CalPharm, which is available now for simulated pharmacology training, 5th semester, unless and until you have such simulation, you may not be able to efficiently demonstrate the experiments. But even in absence of this, you may try. It will be a pleasure if more teachers come up with their own packages of this kind. Okay, because that is going to be an open source revolution very soon. Right. So I am demonstrating you a couple of these things which you can also see. These are very efficient softwares where you can demonstrate the entire practical to your student, ask them to see the videos, let them go
have
through.
been asked in Viva, and they are coming in synopsis also. So in this experiment, what is important is students should understand the complete anatomy of heart, and then how the whole procedure is carried out, and then
Okay, I'm making this particular presentation a little shorter because already I've taken up sufficient time. When you will get this particular presentation, you have to just click on this particular photographs and you will be able to see the YouTube video of this particular demonstration. Okay, so I'm not spending my time in telling you what is there in this particular tab. You can visit it on your own when you get this presentation.
this software provides you with
All right, so when it comes to the practical pharmacology for UG level, okay, PCI has asked us to conduct the practicals in simulations using softwares. So for this particular subject, pharmacology, we are less fearful because already those resources are there with us. For other subjects like pharmaceutics, pharmacochemistry, cognosy, I think they will have to work more than us because to them, they will be beginning now to generate their resources. For pharmacology, anatomy, physiology, sufficient resources are available. Microbiology, biochemistry, many resources are available. So we can use all these things now and start teaching even practical classes online. At least the training related part which is there that we can keep aside. If luckily we are able to call our students back to our laboratories, we'll be happily conducting those practicals. But if suppose unfortunately we cannot do that, still using online resources, at least to 60% we can meet the learning objectives. That's what I wanted to convey through this particular talk. I am very much thankful to all of you for this patient listening, and I hope that these particular details will be useful to you. I am sharing this presentation with all of you within a short time, and I request sir to take charge of this particular session now. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let me ask you a few questions before we
Yeah,
move
please.
ahead. Many of the questions have been already answered by the end of session, because at the beginning of the session we received questions like which are the open resources, where can we get such resources. You already covered all those things, sir.
Right.
Uh, one particular question I would like to ask, sir.
Hmm.
You have already provided us with most of the practicals, but if suppose somebody want to develop content, then can we have some training? I mean, which are the sites or which are the organization that would provide
Okay.
training?
Mhm. This is an interesting question. Like if suppose you want to develop your own resources, what you have to do? Okay. What quality you should have? Okay.
Yes, sir.
The only quality is needed is madness. You should be mad about that particular thing, because there are
Yes,
no systematic ways in which these things can be developed. Okay. You cannot say that someone should train you, then that particular resource you will be using. No, that never happens.
definitely,
Uh,
sir.
when
Sir,
I did it, I did not know, I did not have any formal training related to anything. I did not even know how to edit a photograph. Okay. But the
yes,
desire was there that I should have something for my students, and I started with it. So that is what is needed. You should be mad for that. You will be able to do within a couple of months. If you're
yes,
really
sir.
mad for creating one experiment online, and you are really mad for that, within 2 months you will come up with your resource.
Yes, sir. As they say, when
That
there is
madness
a will, there is a way. Yes, sir.
extreme madness should be there.
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir, one more question from maybe a faculty from pharmaceutics. Is there any software available for calculation of the doses from the data available like Cmax or Tmax?
I will request them to go through Google and search. Within 2 hours, they will get it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
See,
So,
these things are available. Really, they are available. Means what happens is we do not look for it ourselves. We think that someone else will come and tell us. It never happens. Whatever resources I have shown you, do you feel that someone told me about them? No. Just I just sit at the computer. I was mad to find out something. I was helpless unless and until I find that particular resource. If you're going like that, okay, if suppose you do not get anything, at least whatever is appearing on the screen, you can make a video of it, put your quizzes in between, and use it as a resource. Okay, that's the way you can go. But I'm sure that if you have that desire, you can create something that will be useful for everyone.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely. We are receiving very good feedback for this session, sir. Uh,
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for
I
listening and
must
commenting nicely.
I must appreciate all the hard work taken for this session, sir. You covered many important things like the open education resources available with us. The most importantly,
Yes, see,
the
but
free.
these all are examples. These are
Yes,
not
sir.
final resources. Resources you have to start finding. You have to
Yes, sir.
start
We need
finding
to.
them immediately after this session. You sit for 1 hour with a practical name. I'm sure you'll get it.
Yes, sir. We need to explore them
Yeah,
definitely and
you have
utilize
to
them.
explore it, and you have to put it in your own LMS. LMS
Definitely,
of
sir.
your choice. Yeah.
Yes, sir, definitely. Again, talking on that LMS, this is the very good way you have suggested, sir, because this will provide the platform for self-created resources.
Right.
And
Right.
like many of us have the same concern. We are conducting a session online. What about students? Are they actually interested and involved? So we can definitely think of this Bodhi tree and SAFE not only for conduction of the sessions, but also for the conduction of exams.
Okay,
And
see, not only Bodhi tree, there are also other resources where inside video you can create the questions.
definitely,
And unless and
definitely.
until that question is properly answered, student will not be able to see the next part of that video. This
Yes, sir,
kind of
definitely.
embedding is possible in freely available resources.
Definitely, sir,
Yeah.
definitely. So I must congratulate all the faculties who are attending this session, and moreover, I'm very much thankful to Honorable Dr. C.R. Patil sir for providing us such informative session. So, on behalf of my principal, Dr. Sanjay Ksirsagar sir, trustees of MET Bhujbal Knowledge City, I once again thankful, respected sir. You provided us with the valuable information, and moreover, you motivated all of us to explore all the available options around us. So,
Yeah.
thank you once again, sir. And I
Thanks a lot,
hand
sir.
over the yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I hand over the session to